of today's song is like this. Glory to you, Sri Ramakrishna. Full of glory you are, O Sri Ramakrishna. You have manifested your glory in this world. You are Ram and you are Krishna. There is no parallel to your compassion. In one body you are Kali and Shiva. Mathur Mohan have had your vision in that form. You gave vision of knowledge and wisdom to Naren. He won the world with his love, being Swami Vivekananda. Because of your compassion and love, O Sri Ramakrishna, this world received your endless compassion and grace. You have taught us Shiva Gyane Jiva Seva. Glory to you, Sri Ramakrishna. Leela Paramahamsa Leela Paramahamsa Morto Dhami Korile Leela Morto Dhami Korile Kobhu Ram tumi Kobhu je Krishna Kobhu Ram tumi Kobhu je Krishna Korunar tabo nahi ko sima Leela Leela Paramahamsa Eki dehe tumi Kaliya Shiv Eki dehe tumi Kaliya Shiv Mathura Mohan Pelo Darshan Mathur Mohan Pelo Darshan Narenera dile Gyanero alo Korilo se joy Bishobhuban Leelamaya Paramahamsa Morto Dhami Korile Leela Kobhu Ram tumi Kobhu je Krishna Kobhu Ram tumi Kobhu je Krishna Korunar tabo nai ko sima Leela Paramahamsa Faloharinir punno lagane Faloharinir punno lagane Sharada Mayer korile puja Sharada
I'm reading from the book Talks with Swami Vivekananda. This is taken at Belur Math. Year is 1902. After returning from East Bengal, Swamiji stayed in the Math and lived a simple childlike life. Every year, some Santhal laborers used to work in the Math. Swamiji would joke and make fun with them and loved to hear their tales of weal and woe. One day, several noted gentlemen of Calcutta came to visit Swamiji in the Math. That day, Swamiji had started such a warm talk with the Santhals that when he was informed of the arrival of those gentlemen, he said, "I shan't be able to go now. I am happy with these poor people." Really, that day, Swamiji did not leave the poor Santhals to see those visitors. One among the Santhals was named Kesta. Swamiji loved Kesta very much. Whenever Swamiji came to talk with them, Kesta used to say to Swamiji, "Oh my Swami, do not come to us when we are working, for while talking with you, our work stops, and the supervising Swami rebukes us afterwards." Swamiji would be touched by these words and say, No, he will not say anything to you. Tell me a little about your part of the country." Saying which, he used to introduce the topic of their worldly affairs. One day, Swamiji said to Kesta, "Well, will you take food here one day?" Kesta said, "We do not take food touched by you. If you put salt in our food and we eat it, we shall lose our caste." Swamiji said, "Why should you take salt? We will prepare curry for you without salt. Will you then take it?" Kesta agreed to it. Then at the orders of Swamiji, roti, curry, sweets, curds, etc. were arranged for the Santhals, and he made them sit before him to eat. While eating, Kesta said, "Whence have you got such a thing? We have never tasted anything like this." Swamiji, feeding them sumptuously, said, "You are Narayanas, God manifest. Today I have offered food to Narayana." The service of Daridra Narayana, God in the poor, about which Swamiji spoke, he himself performed one day like this. After meals, the Santhals went for rest, and Swamiji, addressing the disciples, said, "I found them the veritable embodiment of God. Such simplicity, such sincere, guileless love, I have seen nowhere else." Then addressing the sannyasins of the Math, he said, "See how simple they are. Can you mitigate their misery a little? Otherwise, of what good is wearing of the Geriva robe? Sacrifice of everything for the good of others is real sannyasa. They have never enjoyed anything good in their life. Sometimes I feel a desire to sell the Math and everything and distribute the money to the poor and destitute. We have made the tree our shelter. Alas, the people of the country cannot get anything to eat, and how can we have the heart to raise food to our mouths? When I was in the western countries, I prayed to Divine Mother. People here are sleeping on a bed of flowers. They eat all kinds of delicacies, and what do they not enjoy? While people in our country are dying of starvation, Mother, will there be no way for them? One of the objects of my going to the West to preach religion was to see if I could find any means for feeding the people of this country. Seeing the poor people of our country starving for food, a desire comes to me to overthrow all ceremonial worship and learning and go round from village to village collecting money from the rich by convincing them through force of character and sadhana, and to spend the whole life in serving the poor. Yes.
Now a short period of meditation. Shanti, Shanti. Good morning, friends. Today's subject is manifestation of Shiva in Jiva. Now, Jiva and Shiva, first we have to know what are these. By Jiva, generally it's living beings are called Jiva. Generally any creature, right from microbes to biggest whale, each one is a Jiva, which has Jivana is Jiva. From that the word comes Jivana, with the Jiva where the life is manifested. So every living creature is Jiva, from smallest one-cell plant to huge redwood tree. All are Jivas. Plants and animals and microbes and bacteria, all are Jiva. Philosophically, Jiva means another connotation is Jiva. Jiva is our inner self, Jivatma. Jivatma, which we consider as our self, is also called Jiva that way. So we'll be more interested in saying the Jiva as the Jivatma. So what is Jivatma? Technically, Jivatma is the ultimate truth, that our true self or Atma, associated with ignorance and considering itself as bound and considering itself with upadhis, with having the body and the mind and all those things associated with the Atma, that becomes Jivatma. Jivatma technically has 19 components. Pancha Pranendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta and Ahankara. That in association with pure consciousness. That pure consciousness, that Atma, that Satchidananda Swarupa, free from all gunas and all Maya, that gets caught into Maya. And that becomes Jiva or Jivatma, which thinks, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the pranas, I am the intellect. Like that thing starts thinking by becoming ignorant of its true nature. That I am none of these. That's why Shankaracharya, that poem says, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Before that it said, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham. I am neither Buddhi nor Manas nor Chitta nor Ahankara. Then who I am? I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. That I am Shiva. I am not Jiva. I am Shiva. That is the concept. So, how this Shiva would be manifested in Jiva? Now, considering this, every Jiva, if you consider Jiva as the living being, so every living being is in fact Shiva himself. That is looked upon as Jiva, as creature, as distinct, as different, as having limited qualities. But those who have real eyes opened, eyes of Shiva, the third eye opened of wisdom, then that being will see everything as manifested God, as Shiva himself dwelling in everyone, or Shiva manifesting in every Jiva. So that is the goal of spiritual life. When Swami Sharadananda asked, Sri Ramakrishna asked Swami Sharadananda, what do you want in spiritual life? What do you want? Sharadananda said, I want to see every being as God. He knew. He was 18, 19 years old, very young schoolboy. But he knew what is the spirituality. To see everything as God and to treat everything as God. Sri Ramakrishna was very pleased to hear this desire, this wish from his young disciple, and said, oh, but that is the ultimate of spiritual realization. That is the final of spiritual realization, when every living being is seen as God himself. That is what seeing Shiva as Jiva is, manifestation of Shiva in Jiva, Actually, everyone, every Jiva is Shiva. Now let us see. So that's why Jiva is the self or the Shiva when it is within the domain of Maya. That is within the domain of gunas. When it is under the domain of gunas and associated with gunas, that becomes Jiva. Maya Baddha Jiva. Maya, when it bounds to that reality, it becomes Jiva. Maya Mukta Shiva. The very essence, that very entity, when it is free from Maya, it becomes Shiva. Jiva is Shiva. Shankaracharya, that's why I said, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Jiva and Brahma, Jiva and reality are not two separate entities. There is one reality. That is because of our awareness we see it as different, but that both are the one and the same reality. Jiva and Shiva are not different. So, when Shiva has to manifest in Jiva, which is bound, which is creature, which has individuality, which thinks it is born and it dies, which undergoes change, and we identify itself with the body, so psychosomatic complex. So that being, how it can be freed from all thoughts of that it is changeless reality, it is ever blissful entity, which suffers a lot, whose wishes are not fulfilled, which has full of misery, anxieties, worries and tensions. How he can feel that I am free from all that, I am blissful self, ever blissful self, how that will come? So when one can realize and say that I am Shiva, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, the one way is to always asserting your Shivahood, not the Jivahood. When we cry, when we weep, when we become miserable, we are asserting our Jivahood. I am Jiva, I am insignificant, I am poor, I am limited, I am not good. That is asserting Jivahood. When I say I don't care, it doesn't matter. It's all passing phase. I am that great reality, I am Shiva, I am ever blissful. Nothing of the world can touch me. I am unchangeable. I am infinite. I am all powerful. I am the whole limitless being. When we can assert that again and again, then we are asserting the Shivahood. Shivahood will come by asserting, Shivaness will come by asserting Shivahood on Jiva, on myself, that I am Shiva, Shivoham, Shivoham, always thinking that way and trying to get rid of the bondage of Maya, bondage of worldliness. This attraction, this little miseries, anxieties, whenever that is there, I say, no, that will not touch me. The Shiva's concept is wonderful in our Hindu scripture. Shiva, as philosophically, is the changeless, attributeless, all-pervading, transcendental consciousness. Very philosophical word, changeless we understand. It always remains same. Whole universe may pulverize, will be dissolved. Big Bang again will be concentrated and gone nowhere, where nobody has thought of what happens after the creation is all destroyed. Only they say Big Bang happened. From what the Big Bang happened, that we do not know. But Vedanta says it is all expansion and contraction. Big Bang, if it is ever expanding universe, as they say now, so there will be contraction finally and universe will be dissolved. When universe will be dissolved, what remains? Is something remain? Yes, what remains is Shiva. And that what remains even after the dissolution of universe, the form of Shiva is called Sada Shiva. Ultimate, never-changing, attributeless, pure consciousness. That all-pervading, transcendental consciousness is Shiva. Another way to describe Shiva is, he is Purusha. Purusha. Purusha, not male. Purusha is that being, changeless reality, ever present, in whose association alone Prakriti or Mahamaya performs the acts of creation, preservation and destruction. That Purusha lends power to the creativity of Mahamaya, Prakriti, of the primordial nature that it starts creating. It is said in the Puranas beautifully that when Brahma came out, was created, the first being. You see, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesha. The Brahma has to create. Now he tried to create the world. and he finds himself incapable of creating. So he meditates on Trimbakeshwara, Shiva, Mahadeva, and Shiva comes in front of him as Mahamaya, Adya Shakti. Adya Shakti then manifests Ardhanarishwara, half male, half female principle, and said, this is the way. Then Brahma praises him, and then the creation starts, procreation starts, generation starts being formed. Otherwise, gods do not procreate, they say. And that's why the living creature in this world that started off by the grace of Shiva, Sadashiva and Prakriti. That's how the Prakriti has started. When seen as personal God, Shiva is destroyer. Destroyer of what? Often they say, Srishti Sthiti Vinasa. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva destroys everything. When he dances the dance of Nataraja, Tandava dance, and everything is destroyed. That is one allegory. Whatever is created has to be destroyed. But Shiva, why we worship? We worship Shiva not as the destroyer, not as the Yamaraja which kills everything. We Shiva is worshipped as the destroyer of our ignorance, destroyer of all bondage, limitation, sorrow. He is considered that. He destroys that. That's why Shiva is so dear to all devotees. He is the giver of mukti or final emancipation. Our this coming and going in the cycle of birth and death and birth and death. How will we finally escape that cycle? It is the Shiva who does that. Shiva gives us liberation. And they say when one dies in Benares, that man is liberated. Nobody knew how it happens. Sri Ramakrishna in a vision saw when he was in Benares, he saw dead body were brought to Manikarnika Ghat to be cremated, and he saw, there is Divine Mother there who is opening all the knots of his bondages. All he had to or she had to be born again and again. All those knots were freed. And Shiva comes and gives the mantra in the ear of that Jivatma, that Taraka mantra, which makes him freed from the worldliness, which takes him across the worldliness. Taraka means which takes you beyond the shores. That Taraka mantra he gives, and Sri Ramakrishna had this vision. Shiva and Divine Mother all helping in the people who ever died in Benares, they are getting emancipation. Shiva is considered to be the one who gives emancipation. He is the universal self of all creatures. Aham Atma Guda Kesha Sarva Bhuta Shaya Sthita. When Krishna says that, divine principle, you see, Krishna and Shiva are not two different beings. It is one being. Call it Shiva, call it Vishnu, call it Krishna, call it Durga, call it Kali. It is the same entity, and that entity is myself. We have to bring all into our own self. And that self is, Sri Krishna says, I am, O Arjuna, I am the Atma residing in every creature, Sarva Bhuta Sayasthita. Aham Adischa Madhyancha Bhutanam Antamevacha. I am the beginning, the sustaining, and then end. Shiva is the indweller is dweller in the cremation ground. Sometimes Shiva is thought to be dwelling in the cremation ground. When we are going to cremation ground, death, what will happen to us? That we often fear. This everything we are going to lose. No body, no money, no relative, nothing. Then what will be? Will I be left alone? No, there is someone staying, living there, and it is Shiva. Some say Shiva, some say Divine Mother. It's the same being which takes our care, which is our own true self, that is always there, which is never separated from us. So Shiva is considered to be the dweller in the cremation ground, in the region of the dead, those who are dead to the world and worldliness. When this worldliness dies in us, then Shiva manifests. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, when will Mother come? When her heart will become cremation ground, and all your selfishness and all desire for honor, Sartha Sadhaman, and this all will become pulverized, nothing will be there, and your heart will turn into cremation ground. Cremation ground, bereft of all worldliness, that is meant by cremation ground. And then the mother Shyama will dance there. Then the Shiva will dwell there. Then the Jiva will experience itself as Shiva. Now it's Jiva dancing in our heart, in our ultimate core. It's all, I am small, I am bound, I am unhappy, so many things didn't happen, all complaints we have. But when all these are gone, then Shiva is manifested. Shiva is the embodiment of Satyam Shivam Sundaram, another way to describe Shiva. He is the embodiment of truth, goodness and beauty. Wherever it is truth, it is Shiva there. Wherever goodness is there, kindness, help, oneness, that is Shiva manifested there. Wherever we see beauty, nice flower, the clouds, the moon, it is all Shiva manifested. The inherent very thing of the goodness, truth and beauty is Shiva. He is Maheshwara. Shiva is also greatest of the Ishvara, greatest of the Lord. Sri Krishna said, Upadrasta Anumantacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. I am that Maheshwara, says Krishna in the Gita. I am the sustainer and I am the enjoyer. That I am, Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. Shiva is also considered to be the world teacher. All knowledge comes from Shiva. All yogas are supposed to have come from Shiva. All 4 yogas originate from Shiva. When we say Shiva in that way, this Shiva and Krishna do not separate. Ramakrishna and Chaitanya and Shiva do not separate. They all become one. It's all the divinity. Shiva is also called Pashupati. What is Pashupati? Pati means we say husband. No, Pashupati is connotation like Swami, Lord. Pati is the Lord of whom? Pashus, of the cattle and the dogs and cats? No, of all Jivas. All creatures are Pashus, including ourselves, including the human beings, they are also Pashus. You see, biologically we say Homo sapiens, human being, and in some Jews I heard that there were many animals kept, tiger, lion, and somebody said, why only tiger and lion and zebra should be there? Human being also is also one of the species. Let us go and be there in a cage. There was like that, some beings said that, human beings also one species. And the philosophy, that also says, Pashu means any embodied Jiva is Pashu. That's why Shiva is Lord of not the cattle and only animals, but human beings. He is our Lord. We are the servants of Shiva, always dependent on Him for our ultimate good. That's why it's called Pashupati. He is of course of the nature of Satchidananda. Jiva is the Shiva, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham said Shankaracharya. When the Jiva, which I consider Jiva, is ultimately I am the Shiva. When I am aware of Chidananda Rupa, that I am existence, knowledge, bliss, then I am Shiva. But when I am aware of Deha, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, then I am Jiva. I am this body, I have this mind, I am egotistic, I have ego, I-ness is there, I am separate from others, then I immediately becomes Jiva. Jiva and Shiva has that much difference. When I think myself as existence, knowledge, bliss, then I am Shiva. When I think myself as the body-mind complex, then I am Jiva. So how to manifest that Jiva into Shiva? And who am I then really? Am I body-mind complex or Shiva? Whatever I think I become. But Shastras say you are truly and really, originally and fundamentally, you are Shiva. Just because of ignorance, you think yourself as Jiva. You are never bound. You just think by ignorance, by mistake, and that mistake has to be removed and then you become Jiva. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha, said Shankaracharya again. Jiva and Brahma are not separate. They are one entity. Just mistakenly Shiva starts thinking that you are Jiva, individualized Shiva, not that ultimate reality Shiva. Shiva as, as the deity Shiva, they have concept of Shiva. What is Shiva? The Shankara, the Mahadeva. He is always in this position of yoga. And he is, as was read in the today's reading, that the simple, sincere and loving, these three qualities Swami Vivekananda said about the good people. They are supposed to be ignorant and illiterate and all that. But Swami Vivekananda saw them as God, as Narayana, as Shiva, and said they are simple, sincere and loving. These qualities are there in Shiva. Shiva is very simple in nature, you see. He is always in meditation, Mahayogi. What does it mean? He is not attached to anything of the world. He doesn't seek anything of the world. He doesn't seek honor. He doesn't seek wealth. He doesn't want anything that world values. He is beyond worldliness. That is why, and where he dwells, not in the cities, but in the remote forest in the Himalayas, he is very happy there. That is one. So is he totally cut off from the world and society, just lives at one corner, meditates there, is in the bliss of Brahman, always being aware of his real nature at Satchidananda? No, that would not become the ideal. Though he is totally detached from the world, but he is all loving. That is the one thing of Shiva. He loves everyone. And particularly those who are not cared by others, Shiva gives refuge to them. Snakes, old bull, pretas. You see, people don't like ghosts. Where will they go? They have also Lord. Shiva is my Lord. Those who are refused are all unaccepted by all other deities. They have a refuge there, and it is Shiva. Whoever goes to Shiva, Lord, please protect me, please keep me your refuge. Shiva says, okay, sit down, you are my people. That is the wonderful concept. No one is refused or rejected by Shiva. Shiva is the refuge of all. Shiva is always ready to help the world. Though in the Mahayoga, unattached, desiring nothing, wearing no, even the tiger skin suffices, no cloth, no ornament, snakes and bhasma, that is his decoration, no even sandal paste. All other deities you will decorate with, some with red sandal paste, some with white sandal paste, some with kumkum, so many things are required. But for Shiva, just put some ashes, that is, he is happy with ashes. All others will need champaka flower, this flower, that flower, lotus flower. But Shiva, what does he want? Forest, bale leaf, give and throw that on his symbol with little devotion. Shiva is pleased. Oh, he has thrown this thing on me. There is one story that how Shiva is, that I am going to say. He is the Ashutosa, very quickly pleased. Ashutosa means very easily pleased. Just pray to him, Shiva, I am in difficulty, like we say about our Holy Mother. Mother, I am in difficulty, please find the way for me. I am not able to get rid of it, get out of it. And Mother shows some way. Shiva is exactly like that. He is pleased by simple prayer. Pour some water on the Shiva Linga, make Shiva Linga. If you don't have the Shiva Linga, make Shiva Linga with clay or sand and pour some water. Om Namah Shivaya. The mantra is also so simple. You don't have to recite the Vedas and all that. Om Namah Shivaya put there. Some leaf you put there. If you bella leaf, fine. Otherwise any leaf. And then pray, Lord, please protect me. Please do this, man. And Shiva becomes happy. Shiva becomes happy very quickly. That's why it's called Ashutosha. So simple, so sincere. And when he's pleased, he's so sincere. There is the story of Markandeya Purana. Markandeya was afraid of death, and someone said, take refuge in Shiva, he will protect you. He goes and takes the Shiva Linga with him and says to Shiva, please protect me, I don't want to die. And then Shiva was pleased by his prayer. And by the law, this Yama comes, and Shiva removes that Yamaduta and says, no, he is sincere. Shiva is simple, Shiva is sincere, Shiva is loving. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, God manifests in these Santals, in these poor, illiterate village people. God manifests to them. How he saw God in them, that's where the God is being seen. Shiva's another quality is his liberator, as I told you. If we take refuge in him and we are tired of this samsara, going and coming, this cycle of samsara, and Shiva says, Shiva, it's enough now, done. So many lives, how many we have done, now it is enough. I want to be liberated from this cycle of going and coming, death and birth. Shiva can liberate. He is that powerful and sincere. That is the ideal of Shiva. Now Shiva, as I told, when I say manifestation of Shiva in Jiva. So when the Jivas are seen as God, then that manifestation starts. So first the manifestation has to come in me, then when it comes in me that I am Shiva, then I start seeing all as Shiva. So to be Shiva is to go beyond all gunas. In the Gita, there is a description of what happens to a man. In fact, Arjuna asks, what happens to a being who has gone beyond the gunas, who has gone beyond the bondage of samsara, worldliness, in fact, who has established himself in the Shivahood, Jiva, who is manifesting Shiva through him. What are his qualities? And Sri Krishna describes, Prakashancha pravrittincha mohamevacha pandava na dvesti na sampravrittani. In good thing and bad thing even, he is not worried. He is detached from anything that comes to him. Na sampravrittani na nivrittani. Even moha doesn't matter. He is not touched by moha. That is what the great quality of one who has gone beyond the gunas and become the Shiva. Udasinavat asino gunairyo na vichalyate. No guna can deflect him. When Rajaguna, if you conquer, you can conquer your passions, your desires, your wants, your feeling of getting something in return. All this can be conquered if you can conquer Rajaguna. Tamoguna conquered, you conquer moha, delusion, seeing wrong thing in the right, seeing good in bad, bad in good, all that comes from moha when you are not seeing rightly. And Sattva-guna can be conquered, always trying to be established in joy. That is Sattva-guna. When we try to establish, just remain in happiness, always in happiness. Whatever comes, let me take. Good times and bad times, let me take equally. That is going beyond the gunas. When we seek only good things, then we are still under the bondage of Sattva-guna. I have to be peaceful, I have to be happy, so only I have to be. You see, so much self-centeredness comes. Even in Sattva-guna comes self-centeredness. So when that also goes, whatever happens doesn't matter. You are always in that state of bliss where even that small peace or your good life doesn't matter to you at all. So you have gone beyond the gunas. Udasinavat asino. No guna disturbs him. Whatever happens to him. Gunas come, it doesn't disturb. And he is as if he is not attached to anything. Guna vartanta iti eva. He knows that gunas are working on the things. His body, mind are all acted upon by the gunas. So he is standing firm that this is the body, mind thing being acted by the gunas, it will have its own way. I am not of this. And that being is always aware of its real nature. That witness, that always seeing the thing that is going on through his body and mind. Sama dukkha sukha swastha samalostasma kanchana. Happiness and miseries doesn't matter to him. He is equal to that or she is equal to that. And the gold, losta asma kanchana, the gold and the clay and the stone all become equal. Tulya priya priyo dhiras tulya nindatma sanstuti. For him honor and dishonor are equal. Someone says something right, he is okay. Someone praises, that is also okay. And the priya and apriya, like and dislike becomes same to that person, they don't disturb. How this becomes same? How can like and dislike become same? How can honor and dishonor become same? They become same because they do not disturb. Those are the parts of Maya. He is not affected by honor. Someone praises and say, oh, you are such a great person, you do everything good. Another person says, oh, you have been worthless person. He is same to that. That is what is called Tulya Nindatma Samstuti. Ninda and Samstuti will come in the world of Maya. But he is unattached or she is unattached. That was the sign of going beyond the gunas. Guna mukta is Shiva, guna baddha is Jiva, maya mukta Shiva, maya baddha Jiva. And this is what is Maya. When we are affected by this is Maya, this is samsara. If we are free from that, samsara has gone. We are freed from samsara, we are freed from Maya. How to manifest that Shivahood? Shivahood can be manifested when we can manifest that Shivahood through purity, love and service. We need to become pure. Purity is thinking the right thing, simple thoughts and right thoughts. When we think something negative, wrong, bad about ourselves or about others, then impurity has come. When we see all goodness, nice, then it is purity coming. Everything positive attitude, nothing bad, thinking all that friendly attitude towards others. No, nothing seeing, criticizing something for like judging others and trying to see the negative in others, that creates impurity in us. So by seeing good, you conquer anger, you conquer hatred, you conquer jealousy, you conquer envy. These all are solidified impurities, and that can be done by being friendly and goodwill towards all, seeing no defect in others. And when we are pure, this love is automatically comes, and then you start loving all. Purity makes you love all. And when there is purity, there is love, ultimately service comes. You want to do something for others. You feel happy to do others. This all starts with the purity of the mind, purity of the thought. And Sri Ramakrishna, when he was talking once about Vaishnava tenets, what the Vaishnavas say about the spirituality, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, for spiritual practice, three things are needed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Name ruchi, Jiva daya, Vaishnava seva. The taste in the name of God, T-A-S-T, taste. You find joy in repeating the name of God. That has to come. And compassion, kindness to the living beings, and service to the devotees of God. If you can do three in life, you will progress spiritually. And how the taste or liking for the name of God will come? You have to repeat the name of God quite often, and by that association, liking comes. You know, when we are associated with something, that liking automatically comes. They say people in jail after like 20 years, 25 years in jail, when the ultimate day comes they have to go away, they say, I don't want to go away. Being there 25 years, they have started liking the life of jail. So like that happens if we are communicated with the name, God's name we do often repeat, and we are associated with that, we start liking the name of God, and it starts giving joy to us. And God's name is not like jail. It has spiritual power. It has the joy and bliss filled in it. Just that packet has to be opened by constant practice. It is a packet of bliss there. So, Name Ruchi, do that and have a taste, liking for the name, one. And Sri Ramakrishna explained, because name and the one who is denoted by name are same. When we say Arun, so naturally Arun, some person Arun's form and his ideas and how he comes. The name, just say Arun and that it comes. The name and Nami, the one who is denoted by name, are inseparable. Sri Ramakrishna described. And said Vaishnava Seva, service to the devotees of God have enshrined God in their heart. Serving them is like serving God. Sri Ramakrishna described that also very nicely, how that becomes a part of the spiritual practice, devotee serving the devotee of God. And then he was to explain, Jiva daya, kindness to the creatures. Suddenly he went into different spiritual mood and he said, what are you talking about, serving to having the compassion to the living beings? You insignificant creature in this world, and having compassion on someone else? No, it is not compassion on other creatures, but it is serving Jiva as Shiva. Not Jiva Daya, but Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. Serving the creatures, serving others, looking them as Shiva, as God. Jiva and Shiva rhyme. Shiva means divine. Shiva means God. Shiva means supreme reality. That's why Shiva word comes. So he said, treat all others as Shiva and serve them. Not that, have compassion. Compassion naturally said, I am up, I have something to give you. You are very suffering, so take something, I will do to you. Lot of ego comes in feeling of compassion sometimes if you are not alert. That's why empathy, the word comes, still you put on higher pedestal. And in service, you just go to their level and you feel happy that you are allowed to serve and be helpful to that. Service gives you joy and a feeling of gratitude, no ego. And in compassion and kindness, there may be an element of ego. I am here and because of me, you are getting this, take that. That's why Swami Vivekananda says, when you give money to a beggar, 5 cents, don't just throw on his hat or on the cloth there you put. Go, kneel down, put with reverence, thinking that he is there and allowing me to make the gift of something and feel grateful that he is allowing you to give. That is called service. The attitude of service is it is a very spiritual practice which will make your ego become less and purity attain. Service makes us pure. That compassion may make you impure, may make you proud, may make you egotistic. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said, serving all beings, looking them as Shiva. Swami Vivekananda said very nicely, my ideal indeed can be put into a few words, and that is to preach unto every being, every mankind, that he or she is a divine, and how to manifest that divinity in every movement of life. We all are Shivas. Jiva is Shiva. But saying that doesn't happen. How to manifest that divinity? And seeing yourself, your inner core as Shiva, and every being as Shiva. Every living being is manifested God. God as such is infinite, unmanifested, attributeless. But that doesn't, we cannot relate with that. But that very infinite, attributeless principle has manifested at this universe. Whole universe is the manifested Shiva. And among the universe, where is its greatest manifestation? In the living beings. And in the living beings, where? In the human beings. That's why Swami Vivekananda at Rameswaram, he said, he worships Shiva with all the articles and puja and flowers and billow leaves, all okay with mantras. But your worship will remain incomplete. Shiva will be more pleased with you if you can take care of the poor, the destitute, the needy, and help them, serve them, be useful to them. That will be the greater worship of Shiva. Because that is Shiva. Every Jiva is Shiva. And every Jiva is manifested Shiva. Jivo Brahmaivana Paraha. That is what the message of Vedanta is. Every being that we see is Shiva. And according to Swami Vivekananda, what is human being? Human being is the temple of God. And what type of temple? Highest temple of God. It is the Taj Mahal of temples. The best and the most glorious temple is not made of mortar and brick, but the human body is the temple where inside that Jiva, that created being, resides verily that Shiva. And worship that Shiva through kind words, through smile, through positive attitude, through seeing the all goodness in that being. If you don't do that, if you see all bad in that person, then you are not really worshipping Shiva. You are not able to transform or manifest that Shiva-hood in other person. That's what it's always reminded, that manifest Jiva, Shiva in all Jivas, in yourself and in others. And with prayers and the grace of Shiva, of the divine being, we will be able to transform ourselves and see all Jivas as Shiva. Thank you.